in topic of growing and potentially wanting to be a father and wanting to improve trading, one thing that I don't want you guys to get hyped up in life because when we have expectation, we fail often and it hurts. So both of you guys, I think, would benefit. I think every person in the world would benefit from quote unquote passive income. The good thing that we have in the group is we have guys that are very dedicated, very hard worker. So I think it's not all that bullshit passive income, non-passive income aside, if it's real or not real. You have to put a lot of work and effort into start for something to work. So I love the fact, Martin, that you are looking at your future and you're making a decision based on family. It's very noble. Like you're going to stay there for a few years until you have family. And Arsenal also is considering like when his income increases, it will go to a different tax. What I'm saying all of this jibber jabber to, I'm hoping in 2 months or 3 months, it may not happen, but inshallah, I will be trying to create a passive income for everybody on the team. What does that look like? Number one is going to be, and I've done a lot of research on this for multiple years, like a long time, but it was very difficult to make it happen. But we will soon be potentially, again, if it works, if it doesn't work, don't get upset. But we can have accounts where you guys can put money in for it, and if 5 brains are agreeing, like you guys could have a vote, or 2 people, whoever collaborates, or one could be execution, one could be plan. I think it's better to have people with similar trading style, but both of you, like, imagine if there's like 3 scalpers, and those 3 scalpers have to agree on a certain ticker. Like if there's 5 tickers and we all agree they can trade that, and then one person executes. So at the end of the day, what will happen is the P&L from that account will be equally split. This, I'm very positive, will improve performance, and it will do more collaboration. Number 2, if things succeed in 6 months or so, I've mentioned this before, small, indirectly, but I would like to, I think it's going to cause some problems. I have to be very, very open and vulnerable and blunt and direct. I think that there's going to be so we're going to have an Algo account trading big cap. I think there will be some problems because I've dealt with this before, where it's like, who's going to participate, and like, what's the profit split going to be like? Because it's not just capital. Capital, thankfully, will not be an issue. So we can't just have somebody be like, oh yeah, well, putting in capital, I should get equal amount. Maybe effort, maybe after Sunday recap would be that. But what I envision in that is it's going to take a lot of work and effort, but it'll be like Sunday recap meeting after Quant Algo, whatever we'll call it, and we'll have discussions on that. And that would be vast amount of work. But once it's set up and established, I will again selfishly feel very good knowing that if the algo is good or running at like 2 profit factor, 1.8, and there's no liquidity issues, and I have a bunch of smart people that have strong dedicated effort, it will help you guys give a stable income, passive income to a certain extent. And I'm hoping that it's a good chance it will have a snowball effect or go into your trading, and your trading will improve because it will mitigate all of those things. Like as long as your living expense, you don't increase it. If it covers your expenses, and you reduces the other element. So I hope you guys gotta pray if that happens, that works out. 3 to 6 months, 2 to 3. The collaboration should start in potentially 2 months if everything goes into plan. Once Simon came in, stuff like that. And if there's any other ways that you think we can help each other, I always envision our group to be like a small group. So if there's any other ways, bro, even, I don't know, any other business ideas that you think were lucrative, we could always help each other out. And as weird as it sounds, whether that's like Airbnb or something, like down the road when we really progress and grow, we could do something like that. That'd be really, really cool. Because there's no point in being a big ass group. We're not.
Oh yeah, for sure. Sharing ideas is always good.
Yeah.
I would love to develop a big cap algo mainly because there are no liquidity restrictions anymore, and it's probably even safer than any small cap algo. And I have a specific idea. I mean, I already mentioned it to you one time. I have a specific idea that should, in theory, work well. I can observe it every day with mid and big caps.
What is it? I don't think you mentioned.
Relative strength, relative weakness.
Oh, compared to SPY?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we can, we can include S&P 500, Nasdaq 100, Russell 2000 tickers, basically all tickers that have a certain average daily volume, mid caps, a lot of mid caps as well. And it will be completely unbiased because my idea is to teach the algo, to code the algo in a way that it maybe can maximum open 5 positions to the long side and maximum 5 positions to the short side. That's just an example now. To be balanced, and to be long and short, to not only short or go in one direction, so to short relative weakness and buy relative strength. And I see it every day. You have and with large caps, you have this constant hot sectors, and then you have cold sectors, and you have it works in theory. It works so well, and I would like, but it's a lot of work. I mean, I was trying. I didn't even start yet, but I would like to, but I can imagine it's a lot of work to really quantify and code it so the algo understands.
Well, the first step, if you can, Martin, is see if you can backtest it with somebody. Backtest the idea.
Yeah, I have trade ideas and could use the trade ideas backtesting function that has a 3 months backtesting tool. But other than that, I have zero coding experience. I don't know how I could. I mean, I can manually backtest it, and by doing that, figuring out the criteria specifically that I can quantify for this setup. Maybe I should do that. Yeah, manually backtesting. This is what I can do.
There's a lot of biases in manual backtesting, to be forward with you. So without talking bad, Sonic indirectly screwed me over a few times. I don't think I mentioned that before. In the past, I might. Very small one. So, but if you're close with him or if you know anybody else, I think get it to backtest through the Python, because it will capture everything. Because a lot of times manual testing is a bit biased. I do understand the value that it will help me identify the variables, but keep the variables very simple. Keeping it simple, stupid is very good. A lot of things that I don't mention to you guys is that I have conversation. I'm a workaholic. So I've had meetings with guys that have managed, that were like the head of a quant firm, that were like trading 300 mil, 200 mil. It was just big caps, nothing else. And their Sharpie ratio, whatever, was crazy. I think, so it's never about the return, because you can just leverage it and increase it. But I think a 1.5% drawdown and 9% up. So you could just multiply that by 3 and it would be the same. So they were very, very, but they did. Long story short, the common theme overall is keeping it simple. Stupid is always better. Keep it simple, stupid. And then, can you think of anybody else other than Kelvin, Sonic, that would be a good fit, or if you're good with him?
I can ask Sonic, but first I need to have an idea, that he can then use to backtest and code, and I need to bring up some criteria that are quantifiable for him to use.
So what I could say from my experience, what I would try, that's one of the things it's a very good idea, but don't limit it to like 5 up, 5 down. I think, because on a day when the market's washing, if the market, separating the market, if it's the market, so relative volume, I think, is a variable that you need to 1.2% big gap, and the other aspect is, where is the market? Is it gap up, gap down, extension? So if you have a big red candle and you're trying to long, it's not the...
Yeah, this goes into the details then, I mean, if you can say if the SPY is down or up more than 1.5%, then avoid the opposite side. There are no trades in the opposite side. Absolutely, this is some details that you
Okay.
have to.
One thing that came in my head is like forcing it to be like minimum take 5 long, 5 short. But like, why? What if
it's just an example. I mean, it depends on the size of the account and the size of the positions and all that. It doesn't need to be somewhere there should be a limit alone because of safety reasons. Because if the algo does something stupid and maybe it goes broke, you need to have some limits, max positions or max dollar size, some safety.
Yeah, you can.
Nets.
The way to do that, because I'm in the quant world now, is put a position size. So you can put a dollar risk on it, and then you can, when you do a back test, you would be like, on average, this takes, given that there's natural parameters that will establish, don't put the parameters of 5 and 5. That's a bit of a red flag in my opinion, and I may be wrong. So what's the correct way to do it? So what I do is like, I look at it natural flow, and I'm like, okay, on average, these variables without limitation, it takes 4, maybe 6 trades a day. So in the algos, in the big cap realm that you presented, it would maybe 10, 15, whatever it is, doesn't matter. So then what you do is you put a cap. It's like, oh, if it took 18 trades, then, and I only want to risk 2%, 4% of my account. If it has a nicer P&L curve, you can risk higher. And at that point, you could put, okay, if it's taking 14 trades potentially, how much can I risk? Dollar amount divided by 14, and that's your limitation. And then you're letting the algo be smooth on its own. And the odds that all 14 hits is very, very slim to none, because you will have an average winner to loser ratio.
Yeah.
But then you are very incongruent with the fluid. I've done a lot of these experiments where I tart to linger, and you cannot see that in the data. But as weird as it sounds, it's like when you go to Flash and you see a calendar, when you have all these limitations by a human being, you will notice red, green, red, green, red, green. It's like very random variable, even though the P&L curve looks very nice, but it's like red, green, red, green, red, green, red, green. But then when you make it a very natural flow without the limitation, you could see red, green, 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 red, green, 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 green. That's very organic. The P&L curves look the same. They look the exact same, but it's like, whoa, what? That's neat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, if you can think of big cap stuff like that, please work on it now so that when the time comes, it will be amazing.
Yeah.
Me and potentially Rosha, we're going to do liquidity events, and then everybody's obviously welcome to come. I love liquidity events. I don't think I share much in the group, but every Friday when the market goes deep red, they do a fake breakout. The reason why they, in my opinion, from reading much of articles, during COVID-19, every Friday when there was a deep panic, they had a buy program. They would buy it and they would push it closer to the strong, so that it removes fear a little bit. Because dollar is a key aspect of United States power, and the other one is the capital markets. So then they just buy it, and then you could always see that like, it takes the stop out the low by like 12 cents, 5 cents, 6 cents, 8 cents, and then if you are able to, if you have a hotkey button and you risk the low of that, it moves $2 in your favor. So you're making 20 to 1 hour, 30 to 1 hour. And if you're, imagine, able to capitalize that on with options, you make 2,000%. Even in the Sunday recap, I think I posted a while ago. I tagged Roshi. I was like, look out for the liquidity event. Yeah, August 2nd.
Yeah, I saw it. I remember.
Did you see how sexy the liquidity event was?
Yes. I was looking at it. It was pulling it up, and yeah, it would have worked very well.
What was it? 20 to 1 risk reward?
Potentially.
Or 10?
Yeah.
Do you remember? I mean, even if it's 5 to 1, bro, that's like 5 to 1 hour. You risk 1 hour. You make that's badass, you know. And then if we really have cojones, we put the full 1 hour in the option world. Make 20. And that's without having any odds. Oh man! And then with that strategy, you can have a second hand. That's what I love about liquidity events. If I can fully automate it in a good way, because you can capture so much range, you're anticipating so much range. So then this is second entry, and this is where you can utilize Elliott wave. I don't know if you guys studied that concept. So it's like when the trend has changed, it does the first lower high and it's below the structure and this. And in here, you can add very aggressive. So if you have a 1 hour here, you can even risk a 2 hour. So now you have a 3 hour. Mm-hmm. And if that works and you're making a 10 hour, oh boy, 10 hours multiplied by like a 30 hour. Those are just dreams and thoughts I have. One day it'll become reality.
Do you have someone who can backtest that?
I had 4 developers, quant developers. It got reduced to 3, now down to 1. So
yeah,
I am lacking capital. No, sorry, human resource capital, whatever. No, I don't have anybody. His hands are like full to the max.
There is one guy on Twitter, he's not so active, but he was working, I think, with Tim Grittoni. He was developing, he's openly offering his cooperation, his expertise. He is doing coding for DAS platforms.
Who is it? Do you have? Are you friends with him?
I don't remember his name. I'm following him, but he's posting very little. I would need to, if you have a few minutes, I can look him up.
Please look him up. Yeah. Look him up, and then we'll start.
Probably, I assume you will know him anyway. But
maybe I should. I wondered messaging Tim. I know Tim Bertoni as well. But are you friends with him, or is it just a social media?
No, I'm just following him on Twitter. We're not connected otherwise.
Man, the market's just bouncing and bouncing and bouncing. I was hoping the market would roll and stock quantum would go with it. Time flies. August 10th. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Hello?
Yeah. Do you guys want to get started?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. We'll keep it
Still
short.
trying to find this Algo guy. Don't find him now.
No problem. We could do it later on. It's fine. Or whenever you prefer. So the structure that we are going over, I'm streaming. Are you both of you guys on?
Yep.
Okay. So this is the structure that we're going to use. We're using market sentiment, and then biggest opportunity move in the past and in the future. And then what our key takeaway is, basically simple. Before we go into the market sentiment aspect, and we're going to develop market sentiment, we're going to improve our I think I got disconnected. Okay, I got disconnected. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. So same old stuff. The idea again is let's verbally quickly go over what is our market sentiment thought process for the past week, and then we kind of use the data, and that will really sharpen our skills to be like, hey, are we BSing all this stuff, or are we building the skill set? So what's our mindset last week? What was it? Made $1 billion, lose $1 billion, up, down, bullish, bearish.
My market sentiment, I think it's gappers are working overall, getting slower, bearish.
Okay, Martin.
Yeah. Neutral to bearish, I would say.
I agree with that. I also think the lack of gappers. There was not many gappers in the past week or two. Okay.
True.
Perfect. So we all bearish. Now what we'll do is we'll go to the market sentiment tool, and we're noticing there's a lot of shenanigan reclaims for August. So maybe we're wrong, whether we can go to the filter here and I don't know, maybe put 0.5 and maybe put 60. Yeah, so there's a lot of reclaims. Interesting. Okay, this is tricky. So it goes left and this. Okay, a lot of stop hunts.
Oh.
Interesting. Okay.
Sorry, I found a guy.
Awesome.
If you.
Yeah, shoot me his name on Discord.
Yeah, I
Message?
send you. Yeah, send you.
No.
But I guess you know him already.
We'll see. I'll see what his name is. In terms of the gappers, when I put the variable in here, 60%. Do you guys use 60%, 40%? What do you use for your gappers? Or it doesn't matter?
60 isn't like a amazing one to me. I know for 100 you get like 70 to 80% close red. So I like using 100 personally, but they haven't been touching 100. I'll still trade it if it's below, but I think 100 is like, to me, an ideal setup.
Okay. Cool. Martin, do you trade below 60%?
Yeah, if it's a big float with obviously bad fundamentals, need for cash and all that, this is what I look for. Then I would also take a below 60% gap of short.
Okay.
Or at least I'm interested in it. Doesn't necessarily mean that I automatically short of the open, but at least I'm putting it on a watch if nothing else is going on.
Okay. Market cap of the open. I'll put that here for you then. Interesting. Okay. So we'll go this way. We would say return. Well, let's do the. So MRM. Okay. So this here is interesting. This is, remember, my favorite long setup.
Yeah.
It should have been somewhere here. And then maybe, I guess, me included, I'll probably be biased and short this versus that. Maybe it's not though. But that's good to see here. Interesting. 3 billion market cap reclaim. Okay, SNXT, side extension, PBM. So this one faded at 11. If you see anything, please point it out. Any behavior.
I've noticed intraday parabolics are just, I guess, more straight up type thing. Once they find backside, it's almost like straight up, straight down.
Mm. How can we find that in Flash Research? Have you found the variables?
It's just so hard to, yeah, it's so hard to quantify it, right? But I'm just saying based on what I've seen, there's some really good ones. But what they'll do is they'll just kind of like CWD. They'll go a lot. They'll go like 200%. I guess you would type in high spike 200%, right? Or 100%. I
Something
was
like
playing
that.
around with that earlier. High spike 100%.
Okay. So let's see. So wait, before we move, anything you guys recognized on this? Sorry, let's go back because we don't want to be ADHD and get distracted hardcore. Did you guys find anything in here? Any behavior that you think is worth keeping a note on?
Yeah, just reclaims, like you mentioned. Just be wary of reclaims.
Okay. Anything else, Martin?
Not for now, no.
One of the other things I noticed is we're getting a push off the 10, 11 and fading. So this here is a good short. This here, not this, not this, I'm not sure. This
Yeah, I
is
mean,
the
it's
cleanest.
different. Go back to Oris, ORIS. This one did a tiny push off the open and immediately faded, right? Did a nice pre-market high clear out.
Yeah, but
and
this
dumped.
one, the sub setup would be this for me, below VWAP. You short below VWAP
Yeah.
and you risk this.
Yeah.
But a different type of trade. So the structure gets invalidated in here. It technically goes below, but entering here, risking this. I saw that twice. So that's the one thing that I noticed. And then it reclaims. This is the other one. There's only 7 tickers, right? So push off of that.
Very
guess.
similar.
Yeah, structure gets invalidated here. Could risk this, or if in here if we're lucky. 0.5 R, 1 R versus here. 231, 233 would we risk? Could easily risk 1 R at this point. That's what I noticed. Anything else before we move?
No.
Nope, I'll offer.
Now let's go into, see if we can do midday runners. We'll start with the range bro, and then we can do the high spike after. Oh, I always mess it up. The date, August 3rd. Damn, 25 stocks that had that much range. This is nasty. Whatever stock this is, SGBX. Wow, look at that. Oh, it's bearish. Nope, just kidding. Oh, it's long. Oh, no, just kidding. That's nasty. So let's start with the nasty stuff, I suppose. BTAI. This used to be, I think, admin's biggest winner of COVID-19. That was stupid stuff. It's crazy. It's only 30, 60 bucks or something. Okay, so the long in here, I see a setup of the long. Basic 101. The gap up is 25%. LCIN, volume, KC, BT, bouncing ball, RMSG, gap up 6%. It's because it doesn't include the 5% gaps. Let me see. Yeah. Wow, there's no volume. Why don't I have a volume parameter? 2 million. That's crazy. Pre-market traded 11.6 million shares. Wow, so after hours it traded 5 million. SNGX, gap up 52%, 40% gap up, local PSTV, 10% gap up. That's difficult. This midday runner, did you get caught
Hey, I
in
have a
this?
question.
Go ahead.
Have you guys ever shorted or looked at backtesting like VWAP Deviance? I don't know, it's like a stat I was looking at. Some people look at it, so I just figured I'd ask.
Yeah, I have. How far is it from VWAP and ATR? Yeah, there's a concept. I could be just bullshitting this because I didn't go deep dive. Like 2 sigmas, 2 standard deviation, 2.5 standard deviation. So generally, if a stock is, for me, one of my thing was like, through a lot of personal backtesting, if it's 2 ATR away, the trend changes. So if you have a trail stop, you have a 2.5 ATR. So I think there is a validity to, if a stock is a certain extension away, I think using a percent gap is not sufficient on its own, because a stock gapping up 500% would have a different percent scale than a different. But VWAP deviation, I think if you can include ATR in it, in my opinion, that would be very accurate. Not accurate, how do you say? That'd be, if you were trying to guess the short entry on the capitulation or stuff like that, I think that would make sense to use
Yeah.
ATR rather than percent.
Okay, so maybe I'll look at what ATR is. Average true range or something?
Yeah.
That's what it means, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll look up what that means exactly because I was just using VWAP Deviance on trade ideas. I was just playing around with a few things. I read that over 30%, because you can't use it on Flash. Someone was telling me over 30% VWAP Deviance is it's a good short. So I'll just kind of have it on there, and I saw CPOP showed up on it. For a small moment, it was up 30%, and then I just kind of did like a pretend traded, and it dropped. So I thought it was interesting. I'm gonna keep front testing it and looking at how stocks react once they kind of hit 30% VWAP Deviance. But
So why don't you add that? Go to Flash Research Discord room,
Uh-huh.
and for
Okay.
like there's a suggestion room or
Okay.
feature request. Just put VWAP deviation. I think it's a good tool. I'll add it to feedback.
Here, let me try and join the Discord here and figure that out.
Is this not possible yet to VWAP deviation?
Oh, anything is possible, bro.
Not that I've seen. Well, it's not on there right now.
I'm talking about right now. Is it not there yet to say
I don't
that,
see
for example, go short if it extends 30% from VWAP?
It's not in the gap filter. Maybe it's on the back testing.
Yeah, I need to take a look. Yeah, I was thinking about that as well in the past.
So soon, once the scanner is done, the next step is just adding variables. Adding variables is relatively, it's not so difficult. Man, if stuff like this, if I hadn't looked for stuff like this, it would be so sexy. I love these type of plays. Failed breakout before 10, 10, 30. And then doesn't matter if this didn't work, you can add in here, risking this. And sometimes when it works, it closes here. Okay, this midday runner stuff is difficult for me. Arsenal, you wanted me to do something? You wanted me to add high spike 60%?
Sure. Yeah, I usually use 100, but yeah, I'm curious how 60 will go.
No, we'll do 100. Let's just see. Oh, there's a lot of new stuff that's coming. Float.
I've been
index.
using market cap.
Good. Do you use off the open?
By the way, isn't this
Gappers are
already
better.
there? The float and market cap outstanding shares, I think is already there, right? Or not yet?
Well, do you
new,
see
I
it on your side? Do you see? I'm screen sharing, right?
No, I just got an email 2 weeks ago from Flash Research that these kind of criteria are now live.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, maybe you know that, from where do you get the float data?
We pay a third party to get the information. It's a very big, reputable company. But we're also
Is it right?
adding and adjusting.
Is it, yeah, I mean, with microcaps, it's anyway difficult to have an updated float every every 3 months when the quarterly filing comes out.
No, I think it's not like FinWiz. I believe it's better. But this is something we're testing right now. If we don't find it to be very high accuracy, we'll adjust and we'll get a better source. But right, it is accurate. It does look at the filings. It does do that. But we just have to test it, see how frequent it is.
Yeah.
Let's go back. Arsenal, you usually use 600% spike? High spike?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what this gives us. So there's only 2 tickers.
Oh, this might be because you have a gap filter too. So if something goes intraday that didn't have a gap, it might not show
No,
up.
there's no gap.
Oh, there isn't?
It has a maximum gap of 59%. I guess you want me to remove that?
I'm not sure if it'll make a difference.
Range.
Yeah, it could make a difference.
It could? Okay, yeah. Then
maybe
yeah,
it
move
does.
it.
Okay, so right now,
But in this case,
no, we still have 2.
yeah.
How many do you have?
Me? How many filters?
Yeah.
I try and do as little as possible because just to avoid like what's that thing called? Overfitting. I typically just go the gap high spike, so I'll do one at a time if that makes sense. Like I won't have like a multiple.
Bro, I
So I'll
think you
just do
might-
high spike 100 and that's it.
Okay, you might have found something. Oh, no, you didn't. I was like, you might have found something that has 2 red trades. Then look at the stats here, 6% close red.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but then you have to look at other things like what is the fade from the high of the day, because if it's an intraday parabolic, it's gonna close green regardless. Because we're
Right,
analyzing
right,
intraday
yeah.
parabolics,
You're right,
right?
you're right. So which variable would you like to focus on? This is
I
the
guess
average
if we
price.
want to see how much it fades from high of the day, that'd be interesting. So if it goes 100%, and how much do you get on the backside, possibly? I know it hasn't been good lately, but just based off what I'm seeing, but it would be nice to quantify it. I was playing around with it earlier. It didn't look too good, short side.
So maybe we just long it.
Yeah.
Dips when the high
exactly.
spike happens. Let's see what 60 is. I don't want to deviate too much. I want to finish this faster. So let's just go back and we focus on. Honestly, this is why data is really cool because you can, you could at 100% you could be like, oh my god, look, you found something. Both the faith. For time's sake, I'm just going to do 60 because that's the only thing we can check.
Okay.
Is there anything else you want me to take a look at?
No, for now.
So
But
this
yeah,
one,
much slower now than
CPOP.
2-3 weeks ago.
How do you trade
overall market.
CPOP? That's difficult as heck.
I got the signal for the 30% deviance from the push to 150 to 2, and then I was just staring at it, and I'm just like, okay, this is the first time I've gotten that signal because you
In
see
here?
the VWAP is at 150, right? And they
Yeah.
kind of made the push to 2, so 30% deviance, and then it failed. So I think that might actually be 100% trade. I don't want to speak too soon. I'm gonna look at it one more time at my scan.
Okay, 150 times 1.3. So that's 2. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the problem with that is you have to cover at VWAP all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Another variation would be what if it goes below, stock is extended and then it goes below VWAP.
Yeah. So once it makes that 30% extension, what if that's like it?
I think there's in my head they're like separate plays. One play is the stock has extended 30% or higher from VWAP.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, sorry. VWAP deviation of 30% from VWAP, and you're looking for an entry point, whether it's structure, some sort of a confirmation, and then you're entering
Okay.
short. That is more like the shorts are exhausted. It's like the point is it has to be far away. But the other play would be like this in here. It's hugging the VWAP. Why does something hug the VWAP? Because as it pushes, there's a seller. Pushes, there's a seller. So then if it closes below VWAP or gets below VWAP, only then you can, like maybe you could use this as an entry. Risking this, you would get stopped out and you would enter here. Risking this. But this is different. One is about like where you're making money. You're making money in my books from the shorts getting blown up. The other one is you have a seller. That's why I separated in my head.
I see. I see. So one's more like a capitulation, scalp type thing. The other's more like a breakdown.
Yeah, there's like a big seller type. Okay, anything else you guys see from here? That's the spikers. We'll start, Martin. Do you see anything that you notice worthy? Mention worthy?
No.
Same.
No.
Arsenal?
Other than the gappers working, I just want to be more careful with intraday parabolics. It just seems like it can kind of have more staying power. At least let them run first.
So this would be the other one signal that you would get. Let's see if this is accurate. So the view up here is 214. 214, 1.3, 278. Yeah, I could see. Based on that variable, it would have been short here or here.
Mm-hmm.
This is probably
So
60.
203. Is that the VWAP? $2 ish, 208. So it would be like 65 cents, 70 cents from VWAP. So like 280.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did 214 multiplied by 1.3.
Okay.
Yeah. And then it came out to here. So you would get one stop out, and then I guess, I don't know, I mean, if you would have another attempt. So this is here is like shorts capitulating in my books, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the
was a
other one,
squeeze for sure.
yeah, the other one is like,
It has Sam Altman in the headline, so I think it could get another push pre-market at least. But we'll just be on watch for me.
okay. So being a bit time effective with our, whatever the term is, what is the best, what do we think about the next week's market cycle? And then kind of, is there any pattern recognition behavior that we realize that we should keep tabs on for next week? Let's start. Arsenal?
I think it's gonna continue to test our patience. We're gonna have slower action, fewer number of opportunities, and the ones we do have will be more crowded because there's more traders in like a smaller amount of names. So you can kind of see like a more aggressive front side and a more aggressive back side. So just to be note of that and to be keep note of reclaims if something is kind of turning around on me, to not hesitate as much to take some off or reduce risk, especially when you're well in the money.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot late day things. Sounded like a political. It was good. So I think if you had to summarize it in two sentences, what would that look like? Like, and also like, is there any price action that you can verbalize in a sentence or two, where you're like,
Yeah.
this setup, I'm gonna be watching.
This sounds there's no way to quantify it, but I think a few people would agree with me. Like when sometimes when you have like something come out in the pre-market and it'll just kind of pushes like PALI the other day. I think the news came out like 15 minutes before market open, or like anything after 9 a.m. when you get like those things pushing. I kind of like that a lot because it seems like they're trying to get retail hype, and since the market's slower, like I like to personally be more on alert for those type of setups when you kind of sense dilution right away. Stuff like PALI.
Do you short off the pre-market or off the open?
We shorted it off the open. I was just on voice with these guys. I was just watching it. I had my boros, but I didn't realize the dilution behind it until Abel mentioned it in chat. So that's when I really got aggressive on it, because it kind of came up out of nowhere. It wasn't really on watch, and then 10 minutes, 15 minutes before market, it just popped up.
Bro, that's the freaking beautiful part of having not just group collaboration with people that are
Definitely
good work ethics. Okay, awesome. Thank you for sharing that. So, what's your market sentiment next week, ballpark? What is your magic 8 ball say?
bearish.
Bearish?
I'm thinking bearish. I think we're gonna get good squeezes off pre-market, and then just to take some off and not get reclaimed. Because on MRM I gave back a good amount, so I don't want that to happen. I think it's possible that it happens more and more as number of plays goes down.
Okay. Brother Martin, do you want me to say the questions again? Because it was like a bit, or do you understand?
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, it's me. It's my fault. I'm not able to put a clear thought process out there.
Yeah, you mean potential action next week?
Yeah, potential. What price? Is there a price action that stuck out where you're like, hey, if I see this next week, it might replicate? And the other
Well-
aspect is like market sentiment. What do you think it is?
Market sentiment. We might have another 1 or 2 weeks as long as the earnings are busy with reduced action in micro caps potentially, and price action patterns next week. I think it's not. It's difficult or almost impossible to project anything into the future from what happened the past week, because I mean we saw that so many times that things are changing on a dime, and often new patterns pop up from one day, to the next overnight. So for me, it's always the same. I look for very weak fundamentals. I look for big gaps and weak fundamentals with big dilution potential. This is my favorite, and this is always the same every day. I try to pick every day.
Wait, you don't believe in
the
market
open.
sentiment?
Uh,
Then it lasts a certain.
believing, I don't know. I don't know if that's the right word. I know we have these cycles. That's obvious, but it's difficult to project it into the future, because for me, just because I'm not able to assume something on a certain day that happened the past 3 days. I'm always of the mindset of what's the word? Assessing every day anew, right? In pre-market, near the open, and what happens the first 60 to 90 minutes after the open, and always being open to any change in the action, any change in the patterns. I mean, yeah, I can keep certain patterns from previous days in the back of my head to see if they replicate. Often
Okay.
often they do replicate, but often these replications get weaker and weaker, and
So
then
let's.
a new pattern comes up.
Sorry, just so we're clear, I think your mindset is very, very good and healthy, and I think this is probably why you're consistent. So there is very strong strength in what you're saying, even though it's differing with like what my thought process is. And I can this is a very cool thing to just observe. That you're like, hey, every day is a new day. Price action isn't always the same. Like, listen to the price action more than going in with the assumption that it's bearish, bullish, whatever. Makes very valid sense, and it really resonates in your consistency in P&L. But if I were to challenge the thought, you have, let's say, 2 days of stocks closing really in the green and 200, 300%. Do you think that will continue to happen for a month? If you, let's say if you saw it for 1 week or 2 days or 5 days, do you think the next day, is there a correlation the next day that it might wash if you have a big gapper?
Generally spoken, on average, these kind of patterns they get weaker and weaker with every new day, right?
Yeah.
And often they try to replicate, they try to look similar first, in pre-market or the first 30 to 60 minutes. But if we had, for example, like what you just mentioned, this example, if you have 3 days with very strong price action,
And it closes
naturally,
really deep in the money, like green and up 1,000, 2,000%.
yeah, no, but well, it's a law of the markets. I think that this will not continue for more than 3-4 days.
Okay, so that's market sentiment and an assumption. The other variable that I believe was, which one can disagree on, so the market cycles, as we spoke like a few months ago, it's getting shorter. But another thought process I have is, because on general basis, small cap fades often, so you can't really have, like, small cap fades like 70% of the time, like Monday through Friday, whatever. All the gappers, you put it out, it's fades 70% of the times. So I think it's like, so for interval is like 2-to-1, 3-to-1 ratio, because you made a really good point. You're like, and I feel the same way, and it's not, I wish it was data backed. I'm pretty sure it would be because of our experience. And so if you have 2-3 days of super high runners, squeezers of 1,000, 2,000%, the odds that it happens again, like if it tries to go at like 100%, 60% of fade, or if gaps up really high pre-market, it will fade. So that period is shorter, whereas fades is longer. So this is why I think there is a bit of an edge. It makes things difficult, I suppose, and it's a very valid point. You're wasting your time and energy in trying to make assumptions when you can just look at price action. But it increases confidence and conviction, and sometimes reduction. It's hard to say whether it has a net positive expected value. Perhaps it depends on the trader. For me, it has helped a lot. There have been times that even if I don't, like today, so going in, sometimes I've avoided shorting because I feel like, there's not a, market sentiment is a variable, it's not very strong. So going into Monday, my perception is it's going to be neutral to bullish because of the reclaims that we had. So it's like, it could be something, and it's Monday, and if I had a one stock gapper, if I had one stock that gapped up like 80% and everything else is up 40%, believe it or not, because of the conversation today, because we all agree that it's going to be neutral-ish, and I saw the reclaim, I'm going to go into Monday with kind of, given that I'm mostly short biased, is I'm going to try to look for a long. And I know I'm going to be potentially wrong a few times, but given that it's short squeezes, and we can make like 5 to 1, 10 to 1. What setup will I watch for? Is my good old traditional short squeeze setup, right? The one I mentioned below VWAP, all the variables. So that's my 2 cents. Again, Martin, I think your mindset is very much fits your personality and gives you strength in being consistent. I think you're probably a lot more consistent than I am. And because all of these, the more variables you have, the more assumptions you have, it can negatively influence you, and you could question yourself to be like, you thought it was going to be bullish, but look at everything faded. What the heck? So, but there is, I would encourage you as a friend, as a brother, to practice, even though it may seem like bullshit. Like, bro, what are we doing? Just take a guess. And I like that exercise because I'm trying to strengthen my educated guesses, I suppose it would be. Where like before we go into doing how the stocks behaved, market sentiment, and the 60% gapper, we guess. We're like, how was past week's market? So we get a feel or pulse of the market. Any thoughts or counter thought process on that?
I mean, to a certain degree, I anyway have in the back of my head that the biggest movers from the previous 1 or 2 days. It's still present, and it helps me sometimes to figure out certain tickers early on when they're trying to replicate a certain behavior from the previous 1 or 2 days. And when I see that, I'm looking for signs in the price action that this behavior will die sooner than the previous ticker, and then it's time for me, to put on some risk. Yeah, but other than that, I don't utilize any general opinion about market sentiment, strong or weak.
Okay, understandable. Okay, awesome. Anything else comes to your guys' mind in terms of ticker wise that you think we could keep an eye on? That's a good short.
MRM has good dilution from what I can tell.
Okay.
It's Chinese Asian ticker.
Yeah, this one. We will see if this will be continue to be in play tomorrow. It squeezed out and pulled back already on Friday. Maybe they just let it die, or maybe they just have one day now. Tomorrow is very little volume, and then they do another push on Tuesday or Wednesday.
Hmm.
This is something we can keep on watch. Maybe setting alerts.
What was
Another
the
ticker. One more.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry.
No,
No,
go
I
ahead.
wanted to mention another ticker that I'm watching for tomorrow.
Yeah, which one?
BMNR and SBET.
Oh, for sure.
They these are both Ethereum treasury stocks, and they have already, especially BMNR, had already a big day on Friday. It ran 25% Friday, and this is not a small float anymore. They still have a ton of shares from the private placement and probably also the ATM, and it had a big run, and Ethereum is gapping up over the weekend. So this will certainly gap up tomorrow. And if it does something crazy like going to 60 early on in pre-market, I think this could be a good short opportunity.
Awesome.
But we will see.
There's a ticker that starts with T. JJ mentioned that too. Do you remember?
T, is it the micro cap or when did it-
PSTV. PSTV.
PSTV? Okay. Yeah.
JJ.
They have. Let me check.
It's okay. I think he said offering is coming.
They have some vote coming up about warrants or so. Yeah, I think they have warrants. They still need to be registered, so they are not ready yet. So they are keeping they're keeping the price afloat. They're keeping it up, and once they registered, it will probably go to 10 cents or lower.
Okay. Arsenal, anything
But-
other tickers you got? Sorry, man. I don't know if you have.
Arsenal is frozen now.
Did you have any other tickers, Martin?
Sorry, you guys glitched out for a bit. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, we heard
Yeah.
you.
Okay, it just froze for me. Other than MRM, no. I'm just looking for MRM to, if it runs pre-market, I'll look to short it into the open. That's about it for me.
Martin, sorry, any other tickers did you have before we wrap up?
No, not really. No, for now. BTAI maybe, yeah. BTAI.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Did we talk about this? Not yet. This is a multi-day run-up now, and I heard that they are expecting some biotech data coming out in the next 1 or 2 weeks. They might potentially try to close above baby shelf rule, which should be around $6 now. I don't know if they can bring it up that high because they're also using the ATM and constantly growing the float. But maybe if they come out with some news, maybe they're trying to close it up there for 1 day before they unload. So this could be a similar kind of event like IXHL, which was also running up for 1 or 2 weeks. And once they come out with the data, it will be a sell the news. Yeah, this is another one for next week.
Interesting. Check the how it faded the other day.
What did you say the baby shelf price was? 6 something? I'm looking for it now.
Yeah, it depends on the float because they're constantly. Just a few days ago, they came out with a new ATM filing, and before that, Dilution tracker showed the float 6 million shares. Now it's 12 million shares, so they already diluted a lot in the past 2-3 weeks. Similar like IXHL, that is exactly the same. So if the float is 12 million, which is what Dilution tracker shows right now, they would need closing price of 621. But if they sell more of their ATM and they increase the float, this price will go lower, of course, maybe 550 or so.
Yeah, if it gaps
So
up, I
it's
think we should definitely tag each other. If it gaps up, just tag me as well, please, guys. I would love to see it tag and then
Yeah,
see a red candle
the
close.
thing is, it might hold up for at least for 1 day. If they wanna potentially close it up there, and they need a lot of money because for their trials or whatever, and they have negative cash. And so this might be really the case, their agenda that they want to get out of baby shelf. So they will maybe do one strong close, and I hope I can avoid to go short too early. But once they got this strong close, it's on top watch for maybe they come out with news or for the unload. Similar like IXHL. IXHL was a huge opportunity, and personally didn't capitalize enough on that, fortunately. But BTI could be a similar play.
Okay. BTAI, similar to IXHL. Okay. Anything else before we wrap up, guys?
No.
Not for me. But yeah, I'll be keeping VTI on watch too. Good. Thanks for that reminder, Martin.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you, Martin. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.
If you guys made it this far, that means you liked it, you enjoyed it. I hope this was useful, beneficial. Feel free to write in the comments what you want. And also, if you are a trader that has made 7 figures in one point in your career, 7 figures profit, and you want to see if we're a good fit, shoot me a DM and Do Good Capital Twitter handle. If somebody approaches you, just don't get scammed. Have a wonderful, beautiful day. I hope this is useful. Share it with somebody you think that would benefit from it. And thank you very much.